I wanted to make a tutorial about the DJI Mavic Pro. I know I did a lot of research before I bought mine, and I'm going to go over some things that are common sense when you have a drone and what things you really need and what things you really don't need. Before I bought mine, I did a lot of research. Probably watched about 40 or so videos on YouTube, and so I've had mine for about a year now, and I've used it quite a bit. I'm just an amateur who's doing it as a hobby. I don't have my license to fly. I just want to let you know that I bought the Fly More combo, the DJI Mavic Pro Fly More combo from Best Buy. This is one of the items that is highly recommended, that helped me a lot when I flew my drone, or while I'm flying my drone around, is this iPad Mini 4. I bought this at Best Buy as well. I think it only cost me $100, and I bought it probably 6 to 8 months ago. That would be like mid 2018. Once again, they price matched. They actually found it cheaper. So it was a great deal. It may have been more like $120. It was somewhere between $100 to $120. I use it exclusively just for flying the Mavic, and I don't use it for anything else besides that. I have an iPhone 7, which I did use when I flew around, but the screen to me was just too small. And this screen is much bigger than a phone, and you can see a lot more of what you're actually taking video of than a small cell phone. Another thing that I highly recommend is one of these brackets here. As you can see, it's a metal bracket. This part's metal, and this part's plastic. This comes apart with this joint right here, and it works really well. I will put the links of all the accessories that I bought in the description, so that you'll be able to find out exactly what the make and the model and so on and so forth. But this has really turned out to be a great deal for me. It's helped out tremendously when you fly, and I don't have any complaints. I don't have any worries about it. I take care of my stuff. I don't over tighten. I mean, I've watched tons of videos, like I've said before, and a lot of people say that this part right here breaks after you over tighten it, which I don't have any problems, because why would you need to over tighten it? So you really have to take care of your stuff. But that has been really nice. I bought also the sunshade. It helps out about 20 to 30%. I would prefer, I should have probably gotten one that this actually fits over this like this when the pad is put into the bracket, like this, okay? And then this fits over, this uses these little rubber band right here, and it fits over sort of kind of like that, okay? And what happens is you still have glare when you're out on a bright sunny day. You still have glare coming in from the top here. So if you could buy one that comes over the top and you kind of just look down into, it would probably be better as far as the glare is concerned. Like I said, it works. It helps out about 20 to 30%. So it's not a necessarily must-have, but it does help. Okay. Alright, so once again, like I said before, I watched about 40 plus videos on everything I could find on the Mavic Pro. about the do's and don'ts, about what you should and should not do. I've never once crashed my drone. I've come close to it only because I was out on the deck. You're only going to crash it typically when you're around objects. You're flying it too low. You're flying it inside. Never fly it inside the house. That's the first rule that I learned quickly. Never fly it inside the house. If you're flying around obstacles or flying at low altitudes, you have to be very, very careful because you're going to hit something. The higher that you go, the less of a chance you're going to have a problem. At first, your mind is going to tell you, well, when I'm flying high, it's more dangerous because if it does something, it's going to come crashing down. Well, I've never had that problem. Of course, I've always made sure that my updates are updated. My updates are installed. My firmware is updated. I'm watching all my statistics and my gauges once I turn on the drone to make sure that everything is working properly. My signal strengths are high. And you just have to make sure you're basically flying a plane, or you have to look at yourself as like an airline pilot. You have to make sure that all your gauges and your settings are all correct before you take off. If you try to take off in the middle of the house, you're going to hit something. So it's always great to fly it in wide open spaces, which all the majority of all the research that I've done on other videos of owners of Mavics are going to express the same, are going to have the same opinion, such as making sure that you fly in open spaces. Because you don't see planes flying around at low altitudes, and even helicopters have a problem with it. They're very, cautious and aware of their surroundings. So that's the number one reason that I haven't crashed mine yet. Is I take it up about 50 or so feet, maybe 100 feet. I start looking at my gauges, making sure all my strengths and powers and the satellites are watching it, and so on and so forth. And so that's the reason why I haven't had any issues, okay? So let me do a little bit more research, and I'm going to get back to you here just in a second as to what else I wanted to discuss, okay? Okay, let's get right into it so it won't be just a long video, okay? First off, when I put up my drone, of course I put this case on, but as you notice, this case has got a little sponge, a little cotton. What this is a little cotton swab that like women use to take makeup off, okay? I found this out from another video that I watched. You do not have to keep putting on the little clip that fits in behind the camera here. What you need to do is you can put in this cotton piece right here, and see if I can do this with one hand. Okay, all right, so I just put it on, and as you notice, let's see if I can do this here. Okay, you can't see the gimbal in there, okay? Let me see. All right. If you notice, there's very little to no shaking going on. Protected by that cotton piece. So that's really all that you need to protect that piece, okay? You don't want it too thick because you don't want to jam up or push the gimbal. You just want one single layer, a thin layer of this cotton swab makeup remover. Stick it down in there and you're done, okay? Of course, you always fly it with the cover off. Okay, another needed, once again, I'll put this in description, either in the video itself or in the details of the description of the video. Okay, these landing gear that I bought are almost an absolute necessary, or necessity rather, okay? As you notice, that they fit on very well. Okay, I'm going to turn this upside down. They fit on there very well. It's on there very good. Okay, and then these legs here, once I've put these legs on one time, I've never had to take them off, and they've never popped off. However, some other users have said on some of the reviews or comments about this landing gear. Once again, I'll put it in the description in the video after I edit the video. But some of them say that this falls off or has fallen off. Well, you just take a strip of electrical tape and you keep wrapping it around real tightly until this doesn't fall off anymore. But once I put it on, as you notice, it's not coming off. Okay? I love these things. It's like, why didn't they think about it when they designed the drone to begin with? It keeps it off the ground, and if you're ever flying in high grass, sand, dirt, or anything like that, what you will if you're going to use it a lot, you're going to need to have those landing gear, or this landing gear set up. They have several different types, but this to me, I've done a lot of research. This has been an absolute perfect situation. Okay, so yeah. Okay, another thing that I recommend, this case right here, I bought at Sam's Club. I think it was only like, it was somewhere between $20 and $40. Very inexpensive, hard shell case, very nice, lots of latches on it. And the foam comes in it comes in two-piece foam set, and then you just cut out the foam. You just take out these little squares, however you need them to fit your equipment. Okay, so right now it's kind of junked up. I should have cleaned it up a little bit better, but the drone will sit down into this spot here, and I made the remote where it sits down in this part. This is for that. This actually is part of your packing of your remote. And I would suggest keeping this because it keeps those dials from moving around. And then all the other parts and pieces are where my remote sits and my batteries and so on and so forth. Okay, so shop around because you should not have to pay $50, $60, $70, $100 for something like this. I got it at Sam's Club. You could probably get it at Costco or get it offline. And it was a great deal. Okay, another thing that I would suggest is if you get the multi-battery pack, you just simply label your batteries with a magic marker, okay? It's just something you need to do because you don't want to be using the same battery over and over again because the life of the battery could be affected by that, okay? Another thing that I would highly suggest is that, as you noticed on the side of the remote here, you'll see a little gold marking. That gold marking corresponds with another cord that I have, which tells me that I need to plug, here it is. Okay, this cord here goes in to this right here. Okay, one issue I did have, and I had to send the remote back to DJI, was that you have to be very careful because if you use the wrong cord, which is easy to do, if you try to use it or put it in the wrong direction, which is easy to do, you'll probably think it's like, what are you talking about? Well, no, I've watched other videos after the fact, unfortunately. It's very easy to get this where you mess up the switch in here. I'm sorry, the outlet. So you want to make a marking so that this gold marking matches with this gold marking. Very simple and easy to do, but once again, it'll save you a lot of headache if you have to take it back. DJI did not charge me to fix that, because I have realized that I was not the only one who had issues, and I think that they know that as well. That's why I didn't have any kind of extended warranty on this drone whatsoever. But I would have thought that they would have honored it, and they did honor the relationship and respect it to the point that they went ahead and fixed it for free. I think from the time I sent it to the time I got it back, I think it was within under a month. It was probably between 2 and 3 weeks by the time I shipped it off and I got a new one. I think actually they just shipped me a new one. Is what they ended up doing. So I got a whole new remote because they got those things just laying around.